Hey everybody. Welcome back to the stream. It is Friday, April 16th, 2021, and it's time for another Let's Build Citizen live stream. So let's get started. Okay. So I was able to get my vaccine, not last night, but thankfully this morning. After whining a little bit about how that went down, I feel a little bit bad because, first of all, I'm incredibly fortunate to be able to get the first vaccine. And everybody has got that option, so apologies for that. Second of all, in many ways, I was just unlucky. Basically, it rained right when I was coming up, and a lot of the process for getting the vaccine in Austin is outdoors, and so they had to cancel. And to cancel right when I was getting there, and then they sent me a text saying, "You missed your appointment." Well, come on. So anyway, that was all nonsense because Austin did an amazing job setting all that up. I just give them huge kudos for how they've handled it. It was efficient, everybody was kind and happy, and I got my jab. So of course, I'm sure everybody's wondering, the 5G reception is excellent. So it looks like everybody's taking their time, showing up, starting a little late today. So I'm just going to dive in on what I was planning on doing, picking up where I was yesterday, which is working on some of the post-rendering, moving the image, and I think that's all as far as I'm going to go with that, so I'm just going to go ahead and commit that. Yeah, I'm very, very happy about that.
Citizen.
Other good news, I finally got myself an actual fancy desk chair. I've been sitting on a really crummy plastic one this whole time, and because my old desk chair had broken, and I was starting to get some pretty serious back pain. And I'm still figuring out exactly how I like this one. I think this little cushion right here is maybe screwing with me. Yeah, so I'm going to go without that. Otherwise, it's feeling pretty good. Not too expensive, somewhere around like $150, I think. Hopefully it'll last a little bit longer than my last one, at least. Can't really afford the really high quality office furniture yet, so live with what you can get. Ain't complaining. Yeah, there's also this lumbar support cushion that I also kind of think isn't doing much for me, so I'm gonna take that out as well. Yeah. Okay, that feels better. All right. So today's gonna be kind of a relaxed day. It is Friday after all, and we're just sort of knocking out a couple of UI things that we would like to get done prior to hitting the server stuff, which we're going to dive into next week. Kit's completely on her bullshit today, so we'll see if she lets us get some work done. Okay, now she wants out, so hopefully that'll be the end of it. All right. One thing we were talking about yesterday kind of came up, and is sort of ethical design ideas, ways to make social media kinder place. Hey, Lorenzo. And something I want to, some of the suggestions range from things like getting rid of the feed or keeping the feed but getting rid of infinite scroll and things like that. There's also, of course, questions like should we show like counts, things like that, or rather follower counts. All sort of things that I'm unresolved on, and perhaps I could see, maybe having toggles for things like that. But one thing that I think is a simple thing to add, and could be just totally worth doing, is adding a little kindness note. And so, let me say we try to implement that. So we'll do this in the post composer and in the comment composer. And, I always have slightly mixed feelings about things like this because I don't want to be paternalistic or chiding, things like that. There's a fine line between being ethical in your design and infantilizing your users. And you gotta be mindful of that. But the be kind reminder seems like a good idea, especially because I know I could use it all the time. Just a little check-in. Just a little something to kind of remind you. And one of the things that, if we could figure out how to do it, would be great, would be some kind of thing that introduces a brief sort of moment of emotional check-in. I'm not really sure how this could be done, but I found that some days I get in a weird mood, as happens with everybody. Maybe it's a bad mood, maybe I'm feeling really needy, maybe I'm upset, and when that kind of thing happens, usually what it means is I need to take a break. Just walk away from social media for a little bit, And it can be hard to do. It's sometimes hard to practice that kind of mindfulness. It's generally a term for it. So if there's some kind of way, and I don't have an answer to this yet, so we're not gonna spend any time on it. But if there's some kind of way to just like every once in a while, or maybe somehow just kind of, hey, you're about to post this, do a quick check-in. How are you feeling? Are you sure you want to post this? Are you sure you want to make that reaction? But again, I'm not really sure how to do that. I don't want it to have to be, every time. So we'll just have to kind of keep an eye out for ideas like that. Alright. I'm going to get rid of... But today we're just doing some general UI work. Just a couple of small quality of life improvements on the front end before we dive into the server stuff next week. One thing we could think about hitting here is every once in a while copy pasting fails to update the character count. I think it's especially on mobile because it's currently those updates. Hey Niche, that kind of update occurs on okay, I'm thinking maybe right here. But the character count update happens on a key up event, and I'm thinking that probably on paste in the phone doesn't trigger the key up, so we'll just have to look into. I think probably if we maybe like the changed event. Let's see if that actually is right. Desktop change only fires like when you enter something and then blur the focus. And actually, so it's kind of firing faster. Well, actually, maybe not. All right. Well, we'll see if that makes a difference, and if it doesn't, we'll have to do a little more research. So this is one of the things that, one of the reasons why I hadn't gotten the kindness reminder in before is that screen real estate is tricky. UI design is tricky. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, is it more kind to respect people's sort of mental energy that they have to expend to work with a UI? Could stick it underneath. That might be a better choice. Yeah, I finally got myself a real chair. Exact language around this is something that we can kind of hone here, but I wrote last night a little kind of explainer that this can link to. It seems alright. Gentle reminder, always be kind, courteous, and thoughtful of others. Courteous might not be a great word to use. It's a little bit of a $10 word when we want to make sure that we're using 10-cent words whenever possible. Speak plainly, make sure everybody can understand you. Okay. And we should have some kind of nice little icon. It draws your attention, kind of makes it feel like set the tone of the reminder. choose something completely baffling like a chart with a line going up. What are they saying? The cat might be kind of a funny choice. Like the cat is the one saying it. That'd be interesting if we actually had a mascot like that. It's an interesting thought, actually. Certainly runs the risk of getting into like Clippy territory, but like if we did have any kind of things like this coming from some kind of, squishy little avatar. I don't know, that might be a little bit too Disney, so to speak. A little too... You don't want it to feel like you're... Again, you don't want people to feel like they're being infantilized. It's not the point. It's meant to just help kind of set the tone. So if you're thinking about Kit herself, what makes you think it's the managers that's going to be pushing Kit, not me? y'all all watching out for the suits. You don't even realize the Kit pusher was here the whole time. It's always the ones you most suspect, isn't it? Yesterday was kind of a funny day, actually, in regards to what prompted this, because I kind of was feeling a little weird during the day, and this conversation about ethical design came up on Citizen, and then it came up on Hacker News, and then I watched Lindsay Ellis's video where she's talking about how she just got canceled on Twitter, and really put me in the headspace of we gotta find a way to promote some kindness here. This isn't working the way it's supposed to. Still not totally convinced by the arguments that infinite scrolls are inherently bad. There's I forget if it was Jeff Raskin or Ozza Raskin, but somebody was talking about claiming they were the ones that first introduced the infinite scroll, and we're sort of making the argument, I guess this was in the Social Dilemma, that like comparing it to having a glass of wine, and how the glass of wine kind of acts as an inherent stopper to your consumption. You drink a glass of wine, you then have to stop and evaluate whether or not you want more. It's a compelling argument. Makes sense. And I don't know if I perceive Infinite Scrolls differently than other people, but I just don't know if I agree that that's an inherent problem. I don't know. Just kind of wonder if some of the arguments around how to fix the ethical design of social media is attacking at the wrong problem. I wrote a comment on Hacker News talking about this and then kind of deleted it because I just feeling weird and didn't feel like I was presenting my argument well. But the thing about like the reactions and showing reaction counts and stuff is something that I've had, like, this is my fourth time making a social network, not including some of the ones that haven't really gone super public. Done this a lot. Almost every time we would have a version without any kind of reactions. So no likes, no emojis, no reactions like we've done here. At first everybody would be like, yeah, it's great. I feel liberated from performance. And then within like 1 or 2 weeks, people would be like, it feels weird. It feels weird that I can't just kind of give people a like. And the thing is that, like, the experience of giving somebody a reaction on their post in a small group at a small scale, it's really kind of like a confirmational affirmation. So there's something inherently, not even, talking about it in terms of it not being engaging, I think puts it in the wrong mindset. It's kind of like talking to a brick wall. There's just so often where you, not only as a speaker, but as a receiver of a conversation or of a statement, you want to be able to kind of, like, I hear you, I like what you said, smile and nod, or a laugh, or things like that. And it starts to feel kind of inherently user hostile not to have it. So the more I was thinking about it, the more I was kind of thinking, okay, so like, why is it that like counts kind of, obviously there's a point where they start to feel like some kind of weird performance art where you're doing things for the likes and things like that. And I don't know, I mean, in some ways I'm kind of like, well, conversation in real life is performative. Even in a small space, you're considering your audience, and you're not speaking just to speak, you're speaking to bring something to whoever it is you're speaking to, and you want to know how they're receiving it. But perhaps where it starts to feel weird is when the like counts start to get into the like tens and hundreds of thousands. So then my question is it really the likes that you dislike, or is it the virality mechanic? Okay, now these have jumped out at me. And Yang would be interesting, but no. And so that's kind of one of the things that I'm constantly thinking about when people bring up ethical design ideas, is my kind of, are you really examining it from first principles? How sure are you? How really sure are you that you're actually not just building something that feels broken? Thinking that it would be more ethical, wouldn't it be better? I mean, it's kind of like saying, wouldn't it be better if we all ate healthy every day, every minute? Well, yeah. But I think I'd rather kill myself. Sometimes you want to have a snack. Sometimes you want to eat cake. That's okay. The solution to... Actually, there was a pretty good South Park episode about this, about alcoholism. Where it starts out with the adults that are like kind of just drinking way too much, and then they all decide they're drinking too much, and so they all go stone cold off of it. And that I'm not going to try to speak about alcoholism in any meaningful way. I think some people, that's a totally different thing. But the observation they ended up making is like going either extreme is kind of problematic on its own. What you need to have is discipline to moderate your intake. And if you're doing too much, that's too much. And if you're doing too little and turning it into something that's kind of outside of the goal, which is to have discipline, moderation, you're kind of vacillating between extremes. So, do the piece then. Infinite scroll makes sense in the context of a timeline. It should obviously go back to the start. When it's curating for you, that's sinister. Very Hotel California, never leave. I mean, that does kind of touch on the line of thinking which I'm approaching, which is what are we actually bothered by? What's the actual problem here? Is the infinite scroll the problem, or is the problem that we're having? Actually, one of the Hacker News comments I thought was really interesting, where he was claiming to be a chef and saying that if you don't like somebody, what you do is you feed them rich, delicious food nonstop, because it's not only is it bad for you, but it's hard to resist, and you end up so overwhelmed with this just really savory and really sweet food that you just kind of get lost in kind of a gross state of like sensory overload that you kind of can't stop doing. And he's saying if a chef really likes you, and this is a chef that is serving you over a longer course of time, they'll serve you plain meals every once in a while. And they'll change the variety of it. I think that was actually an interesting analog to bring up with the feeds. If you're being handed stuff that's designed to engage you every time, not doing what's healthy for you, and just not stop, it's a different story. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about reactions. I think in many ways reactions get much closer to what the signal is supposed to be. This kind of short form conversational response. Because, yeah, obviously, like when something bad happens and you want to do that you have that impulse of like, oh, I want to kind of signal sympathy and that I hear you. Do I like this thing? That can't be right. But you want to say it has put a reaction saying, I'm so sorry. Everybody can, oh, I'm so sorry. That's positive. That's healthy. But then you gotta ask, okay, now how much are you incentivizing people to put up stories that'll elicit people saying, I'm sorry? Like, yeah, that'll happen. But there's gotta be other ways to deal with that than getting rid of reactions. It's kind of like saying, well, nobody should, like, if you draw the analog to real life, it's like if somebody is constantly trying to evoke emotional responses from you, at some point you'll be like, you'll just stop talking to them. The answer isn't to stop talking to anybody. The answer isn't for us to all live inside of cubicles or wear veils so that our reactions aren't seen. You just gotta think a little more, I think, in depth about what ethical design really means, as opposed to kind of going for the obvious first grab. All right, I guess I'm guessing a heart, but a heart feels a little. Yeah, there may just not be a good icon for this. Maybe an exclamation point. Okay, maybe I just need to stop talking and actually look at the icons. Maybe somebody like kind of thinking, like a thinking emoji. I've said forever that I'm someday going to find a chance to use the wizard hat. That would be an amazing place for it. Kind of overtly hokey. There's definitely you can't lean into it. It's kind of you can't gild the lily. So like a handshake would be too much. It needs to feel like just a little reminder. This isn't like corporate branding. Remember, good citizens are kind. That's you can't give that kind of vibe. It needs to be something that feels like a tool for you to help you. I mean, like the info sigil might actually be the best choice for this. Hey, dude. That feels good. So, by the way, this reminder is not in reaction to anybody or anything on the network. So don't feel like, oh, Paul's adding this thing. Is this the equivalent of the UI equivalent of a subtweet? It is absolutely not at all. This is more in reaction to some people prompting it yesterday in just talking about ethical design, both on Hacker News and on Citizen, and then also me watching the Lindsay Ellis drama unfolding and just seeing how pervasive unkindness is, especially on Twitter. And just thinking about how it would be nice to use a simple technique, kind of little hack, just to kind of help remind people. Set the tone for the network. May end up being a totally meaningless gesture, but if I go down, I want to go down trying. Alright, you know what? I don't think it should be clickable. Because then you'll have accidental clicks and that can get annoying, so. And I think on mobile it should be a little bit further down so that it's spaced a little better. Okay.
CTZN.
All right. So that's handled. So I did moderate a post out of the alpha testers yesterday, and I thought that was supposed to show up in the activity feed. So that might be a bug that I need to hit. It might be good to see moderation activity. Let me make sure that it's actually... I don't know, actually. Yeah. Okay, I guess I just didn't implement that yet. Alright, we'll just have to get around to that at some point. Might not be best to put in the activity feed, maybe in another feed. Somewhere else, the audit log or something. I see your criticism due. I just don't really feel like debating it right now. Alright, let's see if that got fixed. It did. Good. Yeah. I don't know. It's well, we'll see. I understand the criticisms about the screen real estate usage. But this is really one of our big goals. Is to create a network where we're having better interactions, better information, and more creative freedom. And I feel like the first step to better interactions is just trying to set a kind of cultural tone. And this is one way to do it. That we'll see. As I was saying earlier, there is a little bit of a fine line between being sort of helpful and, ethically thinking with your design. There's a fine line between that and coming off as paternalistic, which is counterproductive. I recognize that this may be going over the line and into paternalistic, but I'll give it a shot. All right. What was I? So, okay, kitty cat. Yeah, I know. Hello, kitty. Come on. You gotta let me work. This is what you get when you come up to the desk. You get kisses. Yes, no. Think twice before you show up here. Yeah, she's been quite a fuss lately. Alright, I want to get the user profile into the 2-column layout. Not entirely sure what I'm going to use with the side column yet. Definitely seems like something that some customization would be good for. It's also, as with everything else, this column is one of those things that nothing important can be there because it's not information that will be available at all screen ratios. So I do like I like the idea of finding a way for users to be able to control what's there. But step one is just to get the layout done and think about what kind of information actually can fit there. because again, it can't be anything that has to be there. It's purely sort of like helpful information that can be found elsewhere, because mobile users will not see it. Thanks again to mobile. But you know, the main reason I want to throw it in now is that I want to maintain consistency in the UI design. That's how everything else looks. So it's a little bit, well, see, that one ought to work that way too. It's a little bit wonky to get into the profile screens and have it get centered like that. And I just think that some of these banners could look really great, full width. So let's give it a shot. It currently is, but the idea is that, so, you know, profiles, whether they're community or users, are all rendered using the same logic. And want to get it into, okay, it's a main. I want to get it into the space of I don't know what I'm saying anymore. All right, main 2 column. Okay. I'd probably wait if it were me. Yeah, that might be the case. I don't think I'm allowed to. Let me think. I think I'll have to do it like this. Anish, you working on your words per minute? Yeah, okay. Just want to take a look at some of the existing banners, if they exist. People not using banners a whole lot. Oh, there's one. Yeah, see, that looks lovely. Are we not? I guess we're just not don't have a lot of banners right now. That's truly awful. That's cool. see how this goes. This may not end up being a serviceable idea in the end. Who knows? May take a little design work. Who knows? I'm sort of wondering how it would feel to have this whole section move into the right side, and then pop it to where it is currently whenever you get into this or smaller, but just take advantage of that real estate by having all this information go over here. Which would put this at a somewhat, perhaps, odd spot to have the kind of profile information and the image separated, but I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you're having trouble with that, Melanie. On the plus side, what that would really be nice for is for folks that have so many sections, that nav would be able to go over here, and being vertical, it would be less likely to overflow as often as it does. Really take advantage of our screen real estate. One of those situations where it's a little hard to experiment as conveniently as I'd like. Could do something like that. I don't know. It might be a little odd. I don't know. Maybe. You like where this is headed, Melanie? It does move the content up, which is good. Right. Well, and that's something to consider. That might be a problem is that we want to make sure that when somebody does something, it looks good in all situations, and if it's rendering one way in one view and another way in another view, then it might be causing more harm than good. Definitely starts to futz with the visual balance of using the gray space. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree about that. And it makes me wonder if that's something that, because like if it looks, will it work? Does that then like if you start putting the, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Anish, I feel like that's what you're kind of suggesting seems like what we could do on the home screen. I don't know if we wanted to always, we could do something like that where it's like always the same kind of thing right there every time, no matter where you are. And just keep this consistent. But there's a degree to which this feels like it has to do with the person's thing you're on because of the information architecture. Like this banner is specifying that it's on, about this. Now, we could solve that by just having the banner stay the same width, so like it stays exactly like this, and then it has the same stuff from your home over there. But I kind of feel like the contextuality is a good idea. does feel a little more natural, I think. From here to here, that feels a little more natural to me. Yeah, that was the thing I was a little concerned about as I was starting on it. It does seem like it ought to be like right here or something. On mobile, we have it do this kind of... Oh, he should be going away. But you don't want to go away anymore. Let's see here. What's that about? Thin screen hidden, not applying. Oh, because I removed that. I renamed it. So like on mobile, I have it do this kind of overlapping thing. You could do the same thing over here. Might look nice. Hey, you like that, dude? That's good. I think it'll look good with the nav. I'm feeling fine. I was a little bit woozy afterwards. But it was temporary. And I hear that it's usually the second one that gets you, so far so good. So what are the thoughts? I mean, my thinking about hiding follower counts is, I'm not so sure if I think that should be something that the person should be able to hide, or if that should be a choice that I make, you know, that the user makes for like everybody. I don't know. I got mixed feelings. It's always kind of a push and pull between the publisher and the receiver, consumer, as to who that slight overlap of the two center columns with the outer panels, or are they just touching now? I don't totally follow what you're asking there, Paul. That's true, but there's a degree to which, like, we're gonna have to come up with something, because some folks, like Dread, make it kind of impossible to see their actual posts. I mean, maybe in there somewhere, but there is a degree to which it's like, you know, I kind of need to be able to see your posts. And it's kind of similar with the follower count thing, like where if you're making it hard to understand who this person is in the network, that might be a kind of a hostile thing to be doing to people. If I'm the sort of person that doesn't want to know your follower counts, I could turn it off. sometimes responsive styles are just truly the worst. Oh, yeah, I am right now. Yeah, I know. Breakpoint is slightly off. I'm going to do that in a second. It's fine. Yeah, that looks good. It's not bad.
Shopping with Google helps you find whatever you're looking for, like patio furniture or painting with your bestie. You can find the best value, read reviews, even see what's available nearby. Your best shopping starts with Google.
Hear that, y'all? Your best shopping starts with Google. Be a good consumer. that jams. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Probably need to have something, you know, when they don't have, when there's this kind of case where it's like just the one post and there's not much going on there. Ooh, funky. Let's clean up some of these pieces. Be, here's a question. Should it be centered on that or should it be flush with that? Might be better on the left like that. 20. Yeah, possibly. There's going to be a nav right here, and I'm thinking actually it'll be the nav that stickies. This beach shit. When the faux wood instrument comes in, I'm out. And when the Caribbean drum comes in, I'm out. Hard pass on both of those. What's up, Thomas? Nice. Never played Magic the Gathering, but I did really get into what's it called? Slay the Spire. Really enjoy Slay the Spire. Alright, this mix is terrible. First song was great. No, I need the copyright-free stuff.
Shopping with Google helps you find whatever you're looking for, like patio furniture.
I use ad blockers on Firefox, which is my main browser. This is my, you know, oh, that's cool. Anyway, I just do dev in Chrome. Yeah, Slay the Spire, it's just a really solid CCG game. Really like it. Okay, so now I need to render the subnav items. I had it centered originally, but I was feeling like it might look a little better left aligned with the content. I don't know. I got mixed feelings. Yeah, maybe it is a little bit better centered. Are you suggesting that the content of the right side should be all centered, including the text? I mean, the whole layout looks weird when there's not a lot of content. No question about that. Well, I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that if you look at somebody like Melanie, they have a lot of nav items. And since we have all this screen real estate, it seems like a good opportunity to take advantage of. Because like when it does get smaller, like this, it overflows and you gotta scroll. So it would be nice if we could not have to do that. The thing about that, Lorenzo, is at some point, I think it's possible that we can get a kind of a fuller width UI in there. But the trick that we always have to kind of contend with is how mobile dominates everything. So when I go into a full width design, I'm still actually keeping the content close to the same width that you get on desktop. So it's hard to, in a lot of UIs, leverage the full page width. Certainly like in a post, for instance, if you were to leverage the full page width, it would be just a totally different experience in that setting. And I think the answer to that is eventually we'll get something along the line of pages, which when you view it would take up the full width. And then it's going to be, when you design a page, you're going to have to be thinking about how to deal with responsive as the creator of that page. Love your hands. It's truly the message of our time. I actually think there's a pretty good argument to be made for merging About and Inventory together. The UI of About used to be much bigger, and now it's much smaller, and there's really almost limited reason to not just stick the items down there. Speaking, of course, about the default UI. It would be nice if the profile information stuck up top too, because I am feeling it feels weird not to have it. And we're not running out of screen real estate here. Let's see how Dread challenges that question, because Dread has a lot of sections. So Dread certainly pushes it to the limit, though it'd be about right there. Dude, you know, when I see everything you say, so if I'm not responding, I just either I'm thinking or I'm just not sure I agree. You don't have to post on Citizen for me to see it. Broke the sticky behavior. a second.
Your personal guide to the world of hip hop. Get a free trial of YouTube Music Premium today.
Sidebar goes away on mobile. Goes back to what we've already had. Glad to see it's loading. Not currently. And you know, ad scrolling when we get there. For now, I mean, there's at a certain point it's kind of like, well, that's on you. I could probably go ahead and prioritize it, but yeah, you never know. I mean, there may be some world where I'm wrong about that, but it kind of feels like, yeah, if you're going that crazy, then maybe you oughta. Yeah, possibly something like that. Not 100% satisfied with this yet. Maybe if I get rid of that border. You have a point. Kind of challenging to fix. Might just enforce a limit. Part of the problem is that like this is we need to. I don't know. It's tough. Could. You can also click this, so you're never SOL. Is this broken? That's broken. I think I'm gonna go ahead and merge together also the items and about. Somebody I can use as a perfect. That needs to do a spinner. Come on, buddy. What's going on here? Oh, that's why I'm not following. This is another server. This up now. I'm gonna go to const. other stuff. Server issues. That's not good. Shoot. Okay.
got superstitions, which is why hockey fans grow playoff beards. And it's also why a handful of Geico agents used to grow savings beards, but those beards quickly grew out. Geico is still on a savings winning streak, but nowadays we mostly keep it clean shaven. Geico.
Da-da-da. Okay, it's not terrible.
Citizen.
Alright. Could also make a case for putting activity underneath about.
Kitty.
Okay, I know this is kind of a short stream, but I think I'm gonna add a juice. It's a Friday. Arm's feeling a little sore. Not terrible, but a little bit. But just feeling a little low energy. I think I'm just gonna call it a day. And we're gonna... I might actually stream over the weekend, depending on how I'm feeling. We'll see. Yeah. A lot of good UI fixes this week. Definitely some progress, so I'm happy about that. Here's a before and after. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that update. That feels just better. Waiting for that to deploy. Yeah, it hasn't deployed yet. Did I remember to push? I didn't remember to push. Oops. You know, one thing I've been thinking about doing is, come on, Susan. One thing I've been thinking about doing is adding at some point we're going to introduce some kind of theming or UI tools for customizing things, and there we go. One thing that I think would be actually pretty cool is being able to do the mobile rendering on desktop as a kind of focus mode, because it, actually works entirely, because I had to replicate all functionality. So having it like this and just have the rest be empty space, just a kind of single column rendering, could be pretty cool. Alright, I'm tired of this stuff. My music situation is not exactly ideal. Okay, well, we'll see if I end up streaming tomorrow or Sunday. Starting to feel I'm worn out today, but I'm starting to feel the energy to start on the server side stuff. I'm excited to be diving into it and fixing those kinds of problems, so that'll be good. That's going to be stuff like we're going to add an admin screen to be able to get some insight into what's going on. We need to rework the whole system for loading and managing the databases, because memory usage is kind of out of control, and might even try to get a database explorer going. That might be really nice. This is all using Font Awesome. Alright, well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday. It's early enough in the day, I'm not going to say beginning of your Saturday, because no way somebody's in the beginning of their Saturday already. So, have a good rest of your Friday. If I see you tomorrow or Sunday, I'll see you then. If not, I'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. And I'll catch you all later. See ya.
Citizen.